everyone, welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another Women of Horror Spotlight. Today I have with us a returning guest. She's an author. She has a book. It's out on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, and it's called Disappear. I have back to the Horror Room Danielle Muething. Danielle, welcome back to the Horror
That
Room.
was right. You got it. Nailed it. Uh,
Yes. Boom.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I'm excited to be back.
Yes. So listen, it's been a while since we talked. You've been working on the Disappear. Tell my audience a little bit about it.
All right. So Disappear, and I have look at me having the physical copy.
Ooh, love it,
So
love
this
it.
is a young adult horror book. It is about a magician. His name is Dustin. He's a young 17-year-old magician, up and coming in the world of magic. And he has this assistant named Jane, who is also his girlfriend. And one night they're getting ready, they're gearing up to be on a big TV show. So they're working out some new they're showing off some new tricks that they learned, and one is the disappearing lady tricks. So she gets in the cabinet, disappears, and then she comes back and hooray, great trick. But the night that they present it to the audience, she disappears, and when he goes to bring her back, she doesn't come back. And so the police are like, what happened? Where did she go? He doesn't know, but they think he knows. So now he's in some trouble. And right when things are getting bad for him, she returns, but something's not quite right with her. So that's kind of where the book goes, is they just have to figure out what's going on with Jane. So yeah.
That's an interesting idea. Now, did you do any research on magicians and magic, and then for inspiration for this book?
I did. I looked up. I couldn't find the exact trick that I used in this book, because you can find videos of magicians, people spoiling how magicians do their work, which I don't usually like to watch, because I
Yeah.
I like watching magic and being like, wow, they really are magic. Uh, but I did want to kind of know how this trick was done. So I found some things that were similar. So I kind of got an idea of how they did it. Now I didn't spoil that in the book. I kind of like talked about it a little bit, but I was like, I'm not going to say how it works. But I did want to know, just to kind of have the idea of how it worked. So yeah, I looked into that. I looked up, like, because I wanted to mention that he went to magic camp. I was like, is that a thing? Can you go to
Is that
camp?
it?
And it is a thing. I was like,
It is
that's
a thing.
awesome. So yeah, I looked in, I found out a lot about magicians, which was pretty fun.
Because, like, as a kid, I used to love magic. Like, listen, I even had a little magic kit. But like now that I'm older, I mean, yes, the TV show came out. How the it was a guy came out of mask and he uncovered all of the different things. Like, fuck that asshole. Like, why
Right.
would you do that?
Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to know.
yeah.
Right.
And, but there's
Yeah.
something a little scary and uneasy about magic that
Yeah. There are
especially
some,
the dark
yeah,
aspect.
there are some magicians. I will say David Blaine is one of my favorites,
Hmm.
because I know he's doing magic, but sometimes I'm like, is he, or is he just like he's like a wizard? Like,
Yeah, a
he's a
superhero or something.
necromancer.
Yeah.
He's something. Like, there's something going on with him, because I'm just always like, oh my gosh, how does he do that? So, but yeah, growing up, oh my gosh, I was all about it. I actually saw David Copperfield live, so that was really cool. Like, he was, I don't know if you know who he is, but
Yes.
he was, yeah, yeah.
100%.
Sometimes I bring him up and people are like, who? So, but he was big back in my day, and
Yes, in my
yeah,
day too.
yeah, went and saw him live, and that was really cool. And yeah, so it was kind of fun to be like, let's write about a magician, because why not?
Now, do you worry about, because you're writing this for a younger audience? Do you worry about the same thing we just talked about? Like, the younger audience is not into magic or magicians. That's something like, what is that?
uh I think it it honestly, I think it focuses more on what happened to Jane, than, like, the magic is part of it. So,
Mhm.
you know, but I think I don't. Uh, there's only a couple of moments where they talk about the trick, and they talk about magic tricks and stuff in the show. but mostly it starts out when the opening scene is after the trick, after she's disappeared. So they only talk about it kind of in flashbacks and magic comes up. So it's more about what's going on now that Jane, is he going to get in trouble? What's going on with Jane? What happened to her? And so it kind of focuses more on that than it does magic. So I think even if kids aren't into magic, I think they'll still be like, oh, okay, yeah, what's going on? And maybe they'll be like, I want to be a magician someday. That'd be cool.
Exactly.
You
So
know.
do you feel like as an author you're doing a good deed? Because I've been seeing these stats that you know younger individuals are not reading anymore. I mean, working in corporate America, I see emails from people who are in their early 20s, 19. I'm like, what in the hell are they saying? Because they don't even know how to spell. They don't know grammar, and it's absolutely scary. So do you feel like you're doing a good deed by putting out there some young adult stories that will hopefully encourage young individuals to read?
I'm hoping to. That's my hope. I know there are so many excellent authors out there, but yes, I'm hoping that because what I write, or at least I try to write, is something that younger kids who aren't into reading would be interested in reading. My books they're not long. Like you can see, it's pretty
Hmm.
smaller book. Um, it's not complicated. I don't know. I don't have a lot. There's not a lot of violence. It's scary, but it's not bloody. Not there's a little bit of blood, but it's not
Yeah.
like bloody scary. And there's no sexual stuff going on in it. There's no language, and so I really am trying to just be like, hey, if you're younger and you think that you don't like reading, but you're into horror, check out my books. These are what I would have read if I was a kid. Like I would have been all about these books. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I ask this question all the time to authors who do YA stories. Like, you know, do you have to do some research on how kids talk today, how they act? Do you do some research on? Do you have your own kids that you observe them?
I don't have my own kids. I used to teach after school classes to middle schoolers. So for a while there, I was in the know. It's been a few years though, so I'm sure I'm completely out of it. Now, it is a little helpful that I'm on TikTok because I can see
Mhm.
what the trends are and I can watch the kids doing their videos and be like, oh, or at least I see teachers talking about what kids are saying in classes and I'm like, oh, I can't understand five of those. I don't understand what you're talking about. They have the strangest things and I'm always just like whatever. But I also do try to stay away from trends, because I don't want in 10 years for people to pick up these books and go, what? What's she talking about? Like, I don't get
Yeah.
it. And I'm not saying that they don't, I'm sure I'm doing some of it, but like, I try to keep it pretty open and pretty vague in that aspect. So,
Well, that's a good thing.
yeah.
And what I did notice too, like you were saying, you made your book pretty short. And one of them saying that with the youth today, listen, even with me, I'm 42. Our attention span is getting short. With TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Facebook, like the attention span is short. And I mean, was that something that when you were writing this book, you were like, okay, I cannot expand this story, but so much because I am going to a younger audience?
Um, Honestly, I think I have the same as you. I just have
Yeah.
a short attention span. And
Mhm.
so for me, it's funny because when I wrote my first book, which was called Sisterhood, which is a little bit bigger than the other ones, that's my biggest book so far. So that one is but that biggest book, it's still pretty small, but um I just I kind of just I can't do that thing where you just expand on stuff. I don't know. I'm really impressed by people that can do it because I'm always like,
Yeah.
here's my base story, and I just kind of tell it, and I'm like, I should get better at having other things going on or something. But I'm not very good at that. But it's good because yes, my brain doesn't want to focus for that long, and so it's helpful to have those shorter books.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Now I ask you a question. This is a hot topic that I see in indie horror, whether it be authors or filmmakers. AI covers. How do you feel about AI covers?
Oh, you're opening that can. Okay. AI does not belong in creative spaces. That goes for writing. That goes for cover art. That goes for ads. That goes for just don't. If you are a creative person, do not rely on AI. Why would you do that? Stolen work. You are, there are artists out there. It should matter. It should matter that you're making sure that you're uh, respecting the artist that exists. If you wouldn't write a book using AI, you shouldn't make your cover AI. And I will stand on that. Like, that isn't even something I will apologize for if people get mad at me about it, because I'm just like, no, I I've been in the arts for too long in my life, even before writing, before audiobooks. I was in theater. I'm just like, AI makes me really unhappy, and because eventually we'll all creative won't exist anymore. It'll all be AI, and there will be no human aspect to it, and that makes me sad. I really don't want to be in that world. So
Because I don't need to pay attention to the news. The big thing is, and I've seen a lot of them, and they're annoying. Is YouTube creators are making the content with 100% AI, and it has that AI robotic voice to it. It could be a documentary and stuff. And like, I'm glad to see that YouTube is not monetizing them because I was getting pissed off. I was like, wow, I actually put work into this for the little bit of subscribers and a little bit of views that I get. And I would see these AI videos getting millions and millions of views and subscribers. And I'm like, what the fuck is this country going to that this is what people prefer watching over something like this?
right, like, we're humans. Don't you want to see humans? And the scary part is AI is getting better and better,
It is.
and is copying better. So it's going to get to the point where you won't know. And that I hate all of it, because it's like, what are we going to do? What are we as a society going to do when AI takes over everything? What are we going to do? What's our jobs going to be? So we all have to go. I don't even know. I don't know what the jobs are that robots and AI won't be able to do. And I don't have time to learn new skills. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been working my whole life towards these things that I'm doing, and it's like, I don't know. It all makes me really sad and nervous for the future, but it does make me it pisses me off to watch people, especially in the creative field, using AI. Well,
Yes.
it's just the cover. Oh, it's just the audiobook. Oh, well, it's expensive to get a cover artist. It's expensive to get a narrator. Well, then don't do it. Then it's not for you. Then if you can't afford it, then don't do it. And like I said, and I know people write books using AI.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, write books.
Yes.
Uh, and it's just, it all makes me angry. Not
Yeah. It's
everybody gets,
annoying.
yeah, maybe you're just not meant to be an author. And
Yeah.
so don't be.
Because I shared a filmmaker's post for their movie, and then somebody commented they were doing like a crowdfunding, and another filmmaker said, "Oh, AI shit," and I'm like, eh. But I got on him about, hey, this is somebody trying to promote their stuff. This is not the place to do that, especially when every indie horror filmmaker is using AI for their posters. So like, this is not a place to do it. But I'm saying I'm not disagreeing with you. I am not a fan of AI posters. I'm not. I grew up in the old school days where I would go to a video store and I would look on the shelf and I would get a movie just based off the cover alone. And I love that original art. I love that original photography. I mean, I love that look. But it just seems like that's the way we're going. It just
Yeah.
seems like the way we're going, Terminator
Unfortunately.
style.
Yeah. Right. Right. Haven't we
Yeah,
watched these movies? Come on, people.
I
We've
know.
all watched these. We know what happens. It's not good.
You want to hear something ironic? So the company Indeed, where people find jobs at, has just laid off 1,300 of their employees, which is ironic, and they're replacing them with AI.
Right. So now what are those 1,300 people going to do? I mean, they may be able to find another job that's like that, but eventually then that'll go away and then that'll go away. And yes, I hear people, they're like, well, yeah, but everybody thought, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. Cassettes were the thing. And then it was CDs. And then it was, whatever. And now it's streaming. And yes, I understand that we're going to have advancements and things, but it wasn't stolen property.
Yeah,
AI is stolen. It's stolen. I don't know how many times we can say it. It stole
but it looks
property
like
from
crap too.
people. What was that?
It looks like crap too.
You can usually tell. Now, I will say, let me say this. There are people out there who will automatically be like, that's AI, and they won't ask. I know that there are people, because digital art and
Hmm.
really good digital artists can sometimes look like AI because it's so polished and it's so good. And somebody will jump on those people. Just ask. Be like,
Yeah.
hey, was this AI? Or who's your cover artist? Who did your
Hmm.
cover art? Before you go and destroy them for
Yes.
saying they did AI, just ask them. You can be mad once they say yes, but
Yes.
and they may lie and they may say no, but that's on them. But just ask first before you go.
Yeah.
And
Before you jump on
as a
someone.
writer, I don't know if you've heard this one, but the whole M dash thing. If there's an M
No.
dash in your manuscript, people are like, "You use Chat GPT," and I'm like, "No." I was telling my husband the story. I was like, yeah, this whole M dash thing. And he's like, what's an M dash? And I said, it's that longer hyphen, the longer to
Oh,
separate
okay.
ideas. And I said, hold on. And I grabbed random book off shelf. It was Needful Things by Stephen King. First page I turned to, I didn't even have to look. First page had one. I was like, look, Stephen King, this was not written by AI. Like, so, and of course, they all go back to like Shakespeare was all about the M dash. So it's just,
Hmm.
yes, AI stole writing from real writers and now it copies that. So, of course, it's going to use the M dash. And then people are like, well, stop using M dash and people won't blame you. And my husband, he was like, oh, so now we're going to let AI tell us how we can write? And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I will not bow down to our AI overlords. Thank you
No.
very much.
Yeah. Because they're going to take us over. And the Terminator and every movie, apocalypse movie, has told us this. So let's calm down, people. Let's calm down with the
Then
AI.
they're going to throw us in pods and use our bodies as energy.
Yes.
We'll all be in the Matrix. And I guess at
It's
least that
good.
with that, I'll be like, well, I don't know. And he'll say, you want to take the pills? And I'll be like, no,
Yes.
I'm good. I'm just going to stay here.
Exactly. Now, Daniel, who did your cover art, by the way?
I did all of my own, except
Hey, that's awesome.
except for one. The only one I had my cousin does digital art, and she did Terror at Camp Silverside, and it was only because I was like, there is no way I'm gonna find this image. So this
Yeah.
old guy here is Octoman. He's a cryptid, a real cryptid that exists. I wrote the story about him, and so I told her, I was like, I need an octo. So she did that one for me. But yeah, the other ones, I've been working with computers and doing video editing and doing uh, Photoshop and not photo. Is that right? I don't use Photoshop. I use GIMP because I'm cheap. But yeah, the free version of Photoshop, I've been using that forever. So I like to play around with that stuff. So yeah, I've all of my covers so far I've done myself.
Oh,
Uh, unless I
and it
need
looked
someone
great.
and my cousin does them.
And they look great. They look
thank,
great.
thank you. And no, I don't
Now,
use AI.
yes. If you do, you're not gonna tell anybody. Yep.
If I do, I'll, yeah, I won't say what. I'll get up. I'll give myself a punching if I start using it.
Now, Danielle, where can everyone find you and your work?
So I have a website, which is daniellemuething.com. And then I'm mostly active on TikTok, but I'm also on Facebook and Instagram ish. But everything's under Danielle Muething. I'm also an audiobook narrator, so I have two accounts on TikTok. I have an author account and a narrator account, just because I wanted to keep those things separate there. But everywhere else, I'm author and narrator on one account. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Danielle, listen, it's always a blast to have you on. Listen,
absolutely.
everybody,
It goes too fast. It goes too
it,
fast.
it really does. And listen, we both had technical difficulties tonight, so we were both looking weird or on the screen. So sorry for the glitching, and I'm sitting
Right.
in a weird angle because
I
I'm
know.
using an iPad tonight. So
Right. We're both like, we're gonna make this work.
we're gonna make this work. Listen, everybody, get over to Amazon and also Danielle Muething website and check out her work. Follow on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff.
There you go.
And she's not going to be twerking on the TikTok. So,
I mean,
what I know of, I mean, listen, I might get
give
a
me a
couple
reason, right?
subscribers, followers, or something. Yeah, no.
No, no, no.
Well, listen, everyone, thank you for coming to another edition of the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's my homegirl Danielle Muething. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Take care.